candidates, I wanted to send you a quick email to go over a couple of things that we weren't able to go over at the information meeting. And then also some folks that they weren't able to make the information meeting, they also would not have this information. So just want to make sure we go over it. Let's get started. First thing, this is just a reminder that applications are due July 3rd. If you are having some problem in getting the application done for whatever reason, please give me a call and let me know, and I'll work with you if that's possible. But essentially, I want to have the applications in by July 3rd so that we can start scheduling interviews for July 12th. So do give me a call if you're having some problems. But also, just want to remind you, I'm not going to go over all these bullets, but just want to remind you to make sure that your application is legible, that it can be read. That's why I did send that out to a lot of folks so they can type it. I send it as a Word doc so that you can type the information because that would really help. Also, please complete each section. Do not leave anything blank. If there are areas that are not applicable, please put not applicable. That way we know that you have at least read that particular area. Also, a lot of the forms can be downloaded at the GCN website. If you have any problems finding that, let me know. The next thing is the application must be, what should be included with the application is the 2 letters of recommendation, also the Wagner Modified House Questionnaire, and the program fee for $100. So we need to have those all in by April 3rd if all possible. I know that there may be some cases where you're waiting on recommendations, letters of recommendations, and again, I would just encourage you to give me a call and let me know if you're going to be a little late on that because of that is out of your hands when you're waiting for someone else to provide that information to you. So that just, again, do give me a call. Let's look at the next slide. I think I mentioned that already, just to submit the application as soon as you can. Applications will not be accepted after July 3rd, and that is a true statement unless you give me a call and let me know that you need a couple of more days or whatever to get the application in. But I need to know so that I can still go ahead and schedule you for the interviews. If you have any questions about the program, again, give me a call. I think I provided my cell phone, or the application, I should say. If you have any questions about the application and that process, just give me a call, and I will answer your questions. And I do believe I also provided my cell phone to most folks if they need to give me a call. Okay, quick review of the calendar of events. I sent this out earlier this week, and I'm resending it again for some folks that maybe did not receive it. But essentially, this is the schedule. July 12th, we'll have the ordination interviews. We talked about that. On August 3rd, registration for CBTS classes begin, and I will register you for your classes, so you don't have to worry about that. August 30th, we'll have ordination candidate orientation, and again, this is once you've been accepted in the program. We will have probably a few minutes where we'll get together and I'll provide you with your books, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up in the fall. Let's move to the next slide. Next slide, CBTS semester begins. So your classes will begin on Monday the 8th. I'll talk about the class schedule in a few minutes, but your classes will start on Monday the 8th. October 11th and October 18th will be the ministerial practice workshops that you will need to attend, and those are both on Saturdays, and that will be Saturday from 9 till 1 p.m. The November 8th General Counseling Principles Workshop, that's on one Saturday, and that will also be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Next slide, December 7th. Spring registration will start. You'll still be in class, but registration will start. And again, you don't have to worry about that. I will register you for the classes, and I will order your books. CBTS fall semester ends, so you'll get a break beginning December 11th. And then on December 13th, we will have ordination interviews, And at the second ordination interviews, I'm going to try to make an attempt to get you your books for the spring and provide that to you so you'll be ready to start the classes in the spring. Okay, January 5th, CBTS spring semester begins. You have an early start for ordination candidates. All other CBTS students, unless they're taking the classes that you're in, they will start a little bit later in the month. But we want to get you started so that we can make sure that on Good Friday, which comes a little bit early this year, April 3rd, want to make sure that we have your classes done before April 3rd. Okay, February 7th, Spiritual Warfare Workshop 1, and those will be not three consecutive weekends, but every other weekend for those 3 classes. So February 7th will be Workshop Part 1, February 21st will be Workshop Part 2, and then March 7th will be Workshop Part 3 for Spiritual Warfare Series. Next, March 14th, the Ordination Information Meeting. Once you'll almost be done with your classes. You'll have, I think, a few more days of classes. But at this particular meeting, we will talk about the paperwork that you need to have submitted prior to ordination, which include information on your address to make sure we have all your address and phone and cell phone and all those things, or email, and all that stuff is correct if something has changed. So we fill out a new form. 2, we'll also want to give you or get how you want your name typed on your certificate. Also, I will provide some invitations that you will be able to send out to folks to attend the ordination ceremony. So I will provide that information to you. Also, it'll be a form that you'll sign to say that you do want to go through the ordination process. Next is March 24th, CBTS spring semester ends, so your classes will end beginning March 24th. Let's see, and then March 27th, we will have what's called a candidate and spouse dinner, and the location has not been determined yet. We have had it at Maggiano's in the past, and we may still have it there, but we will see, and we'll let you know. April 3rd, we'll have the ordination brunch, and that'll be the morning of the ordination. We'll have a brunch, and that will go from 10 a.m. to noon. And then on April 3rd, or later that evening, we'll have the ordination, which will start at 7 and go to 8:30. But we'll look for you guys to be there at 6 p.m. for prayer, because we have prayer in the CCF Fellowship Hall just before the ordination starts. I want to go over the classes that are scheduled for the fall, that will be scheduled for the fall, that you will take. The first class will be the exegesis class, how to read the Bible and interpret Scripture. General Counseling Principle Workshop, we talked about that earlier. Ministerial Practice Workshop. Also, you will take your classes related to your particular elective. Again, the General Counseling Principles Workshop and the Ministerial Practice are classes that you'll need once you become ordained as a minister. There's different things that you can do. General counseling, you can do marriage counseling, you can do grief counseling, you can do some of those things, so we'll talk about that. In the Ministerial Practice, you can do home blessings, you can perform funerals, you can perform weddings, so we'll go over some of that during those trainings. Then also you will take your but you will take your elective for whatever gifting that you have, that God has called you to, that you will be ordained into. Again, as I mentioned earlier, classes will be Monday and Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and workshops will be 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And then the some workshops will be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And to be specific about that, the workshops, General Principles and Ministerial Practice, those workshops will be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the Spiritual Warfare workshops will be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in most cases. Also, let's look at the spring. In the spring, you have a different set of classes. You have the Christian Doctrine class, which will be on Monday, and the Homiletics class, which will be on Tuesday. And then you have the 3 spiritual warfare workshops. Again, classes will be 6:30, and that should say 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And workshops will be 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. as I said earlier. Okay, so that should cover everything, but just wanted to kind of send you out a quick reminder and kind of let you know what's coming up. And I will try to keep you informed on everything, but look forward to seeing you in the interviews on the 12th, or hearing from you when you submit your application. And I will talk to you a little later. Thanks a lot.